That's how much money traders bet on a single question. Will the US and Iran sign a permanent peace agreement? I bet on this market. My prediction was right. No permanent deal has been signed. Trump is threatening to bomb Iran, and I, along with thousands of other traders, still lost. Because Polymarket isn't a prediction market, it's a casino where 9 wallets control the entire voting pool.
Actually, the agreement now final, or are you still?
No, it's not final. It's a memorandum of understanding, and if I don't like it, we'll go back to shooting at them, dropping bombs on their head.
Polymarket is the world's largest prediction market. It's legal in the US. It gets cited by Bloomberg, CNN, the New York Times. Trump himself praised the platform after the 2024 election. On Polymarket, you can bet on anything. Elections, the economy, geopolitics. You buy yes or no, and if you're right, you get paid. Sounds simple, but there's one catch. Who decides what actually happened? On a regular exchange, price is a fact. Bitcoin at 66,000, that's verifiable. On Polymarket, the outcome is decided by a system called UMA, a so-called decentralized oracle. A group of anonymous token holders votes on whether an event happened or not. And that's where the problem starts. Back on June 1st, I ran a full analytical cycle on this market. Structural analysis of the parties involved, analysis of competing hypotheses, a Bayesian model. Everything pointed on the same conclusion. A permanent peace argument was impossible within the given time frame. Why? Because right now, the politics in Israel, Iran and the US are run by hawks who profit from the war, which means signing this kind of deal within the market's deadline was basically impossible. On June 8th, Israel and Iran exchanged the heaviest strikes in months. CNN called it the worst escalation since April. Iran launched ballistic missiles at Israel. Israel carried out 357 strikes on Lebanon in 10 minutes. 3,500 people killed since the start of the march. On June 4th, Hezbollah officially rejected the ceasefire proposal with Israel. Netanyahu stated that he has no intention of withdrawing from Lebanon, Gaza or Syria. On June 40, against this backdrop, Pakistan's Prime Minister steps up to the microphone and announces a peace deal has been reached. A permanent ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon. But under the market rules, third-party statements don't count. Only official statements made by the US or Iran themselves are taken into account. Now let's see what actually happened. Not what the Pakistani mediator said, but what the document itself actually says. Point 1. The parties announce a ceasefire. The final deal will confirm the permanent termination of the war. The final deal will confirm. Meaning, this document is not the final deal. Point 3. The Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America commit to negotiating and achieving the final deal in maximum 60 days extendable with mutual consent. Point 9. Pending the final deal. Until a final deal is reached, the parties maintain the status quo. The words final deal appear in the document 7 times. The document says it outright. I am not the final deal. I am a framework for negotiating a future deal. Now let's read the market rules. Arguments that are explicitly temporary or which do not include a definitive argument to end military hostiles on a lasting basis will not qualify. Arguments that are explicitly temporary don't qualify. And the separate line, a temporary extension of the ceasefire will not qualify. This document is a textbook example of exactly what shouldn't qualify under this market's rules. But that's not all. The market deadline was June 50. The document was signed on June 80, 3 days after the deadline. At the moment the market closed, the document didn't physically exist. No signatures, no ceremony, just an announcement from the Pakistani mediator on Twitter. And then Trump, who the next day wrote on Truth Social, the terms that Iran leaked out to the fake news had nothing to do with the terms that we agreed to. Very dishonorable people to deal with. One side of the deal calls the other side statements fake, and the market resolved as yes, a permanent peace deal has been reached. Now here's the main part. Who made this decision? Here's how the UMA system works. Any UMA token holder can vote on the market's outcome. Sounds democratic. But Bloomberg ran an analysis and found 9 wallets control more than half of all the votes, 9 anonymous addresses, no names, no disclosure of positions, no obligation to report whether they're holding bets on the same market they're voting on. I went into discussion and looked at the votes. The new votes, the ones with few tokens, actually read the rules and the document. The whales overwhelmingly choose yes, with reasoning on the level of biggest news in the world, a gap of more than 100% between the two groups. That's not voting, that's block voting by anonymous whales with a conflict of interest. More than 90% of the voting power choose yes. The market is closed. Across all dates, including the year-end one, over $350 million distributed. But that's not all. Bloomberg published an investigation and found something even worse than skewed voting. One Polymarket account was created 2 hours before its first trade. It started buying up yes contracts when the market was pricing in just a 6% probability. Before any public announcements, before Pakistan's tweet, before Trump's statements. That wallet stands to make $1,100,000. Today, while you're watching this video, here's what's actually happening. Israel is still bombing Lebanon, the same Lebanon supposedly covered by the peace deal on all fronts. Hezbollah is rejecting the ceasefire. Netanyahu is refusing to withdraw troops. Trump is threatening to drop bombs right on their heads if they misbehave. Iran is blocking the Strait of Hormuz and threatening a harsh response to Israel strikes. The argument signed on the 8th June, 3 days after deadline, referenced future final deal 7 times and is memorandum of understanding, not a peace treaty. But on Polymarket, this counts as permanent peace deal. Yes, resolved. Polymarket isn't a prediction market. It's a machine for distributing money from people who analyze to people who control the vote. 9 wallets, 0 disclosure, 0 accountability, $345 million. It's the biggest scam in Polymarket history. This person lost $2 million. His analysis was correct, the document proved him right, but 9 anonymous wallets decide otherwise. And if you're curious about my take on Iran, Trump needs to boost his approval numbers before the fall midterms. So he's running a media play around, peace, goodwill, and all the rest. The war may very well pick back up before or after the election. One condition of any real peace deal would be $500 billion in reparation from the US. The US will never agree to do that, so this deal is nothing more than a fiction for voters and for temporarily pushing oil prices down. If you're trading on Polymarket, you are not trading on a prediction market, you're trading on a market where the outcome is decided by 9 anonymous wallets in a Discord chat. One last thing I want to say, don't bet on Polymarket, or only bet what you're ready to lose. Because even when you win, sooner or later, Polymarket will rob you again.